Philip, what's my name?
More money, more cash, more money, more cash, more money, more cash, more.
Now, first one is the MVP. Now, obviously, last year the finalists, and well, the most obvious thing, Russell Westbrook won the MVP award. But the finalists, of course, second came, I think, James Harden came in second, Kawhi Leonard in third. But this season, everything's totally changed around, man, especially because of the free agents, the trades that got made, the players that got drafted. That definitely kind of changes the whole balance of everything that's going on, especially like the MVP category, because it's such an important category. And if you notice the trend of how it usually goes, it's always a player that has something to prove, a player that didn't get recognized for something, and now they're like in the year where they're trying to make sure they're recognized for that specific thing. And if you think about it, last year it was Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, all had things to prove. James Harden being in, I think, his second or third year in Houston and finally getting into his shell, having his own signature line and things like that. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant leaving to go to Golden State. Kawhi Leonard, you know, finally having his own team with Tim Duncan retired. All those guys had something to prove. And this year, who I think has something to prove, well, one thing I have to mention first to get out the way is the fact that Paul George and Carmelo Anthony joined or got traded to OKC. That changes everything as far as who was the MVP last year. Russell Westbrook, he could possibly have a triple-double like season, but he's not going to win the MVP award when he's got guys like Paul George and Carmelo Anthony helping him out with the load offensively and defensively. My MVP candidates, the top three that I think is going to be those guys, are these guys right here. Let me explain it to you. I'm going to break it down too. This guy is kind of underrated. I'm going to go ahead and say Kawhi Leonard. As far as, if you think about the two MVP candidates last year that were in the top three with him, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, had a little brain fart right there.
What?
They both got new teammates and all-star type of teammates. So that kind of is going to take away from what they can do, not only like numbers-wise, but just MVP votes-wise, because it's voted by analysts. So I think Kawhi Leonard, just because he has his own team, that's one. That gets it out the way. Number two, I think is going to be, and this is my dark horse, by the way, and this is also a big if because it's, you know, if they're successful, if they have a good season. But I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be up there in the MVP votes just because he's a year better. I mean, he had a ridiculous season last year, and the East is wide open. So he could have a 51 season with the Bucks and have an MVP-like season. So he's my number two after Kawhi Leonard. And number three has to be, I have to think, it's LeBron James.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
I mean, if you think about guys like joining All-Stars, and LeBron, I mean, he has a good cast. I think this is the best all-around team he's ever played with. I think with Isaiah Thomas being gone, LeBron having to do the majority of the things during the season, he's going to end up having an MVP type of season. Of course, he has Dwayne Wade to help, Kevin Love, Jay Crowder, players like that who are really going to help, and Jeff Green too. They're role players. Like, they're not All-Stars. Even though Isaiah Thomas is another All-Star, I'm going to say that again, he's not going to be back for a while. And when he is back, LeBron is still going to be in that groove, still going to be at the top of the game. So I think LeBron's going to be that third player that's in the MVP competition, like the last three. And the winner, I think out of those three, Giannis, Kawhi, and LeBron, I think the winner is going to be Kawhi Leonard, man. I think he's going to get his first regular season MVP. It's just poised that way. And the fact that he's in the West, with all those talents he's going to play, he's going to be able to show out just about any given night. And him standing out, doing what he did, if he does the same thing he did last season, again, or even a little better, he has to be the MVP. He's the only superstar right now, only all-star that has his own team and is playing by himself. So I feel like he has the most to prove, and he has the most flexibility to prove that. Now, Defensive Player of the Year. So for this one, the last year it was Draymond Green who won it, obviously. And then it was Rudy Gobert, and then guess who? Another Kawhi Leonard being in the top three in another conversation. For this one, I'm going to have to be honest. The Warriors are probably going to do the same thing they did last year. And even though Rudy Gobert and Kawhi can have great defensive seasons, the Warriors are just going to blow out so many teams, have so many defensive type of games that's going to shut out other teams, that Draymond's going to get a lot of the credit for that. And because of that, I think he's going to end up winning the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Now, who I think is going to be another player that comes up, since we already got, you know, Draymond Green in the top three plugged in, the other two, I think Kawhi will probably be back in that top 3 voting, this one's tough because the number 3 one, it could really go to just about anybody. It could go to Rudy Gobert again. It could even go to maybe Hassan Whiteside. It could even go to DeAndre Jordan if the Clippers have a good season. That's a big if. So you know what? I'm going to throw a dark horse out there. I think top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year awards is going to go to Paul George. And now before you say anything, let me explain to you why I think he's going to be in the top 3 voting for Defensive Player of the Year. He knows he's lined up and playing with guys that can score 30 a game if they want to. He's the best or most capable to be guarding the best wing defender and helping off the ball. Even though he has Roberson there too, who's going to guard probably the best player on the other side sometimes, I think Paul George, when it comes down to the end of the game, is going to guard the best player on the other team. I think he's going to be their lockdown defender, and I think he's going to be able to get a lot of steals in the wing, a lot of chase down blocks, a lot of blocks on the help side. And that is why I think he's going to be top 3 votings for Defensive Player of the Year. I think, you know, Draymond Green's going to win it, but him and Kawhi are number 2 and 3 for Defensive Player of the Year. And now for my Most Improved award, now I'm going to just name out this 3 while I have them in my head because, I don't know. I'm going to pick out who's going to be the winner, and then I'm going to pick out my Most Improved. So it's going to be Portland Trail Blazers center. I think it's Nurkic or Suric. One of those. I think their starting center is going to be up there for top 3 Most Improved Player. Most Improved Player of the Year. Second, I had to say, I think it's going to be Porzingis. Just the fact that he's going to be playing in New York all by himself and the offense is going to get ran through him. I think he has a good opportunity to go ahead for that, you know, Most Improved Player of the Year. And my last one is a dark horse. And just because he's for the first time in a team where it's the focus all on him, I think Oladipo is going to be top 3 Most Improved Player of the Year next year. Wow. And the winner out of those 3, I think, is going to be Porzingis. I think he have a monster season, be able to average over 20 points a game, 23 points a game, and average 10 rebounds. If you could average a double-double, I think that would definitely get him an opportunity to win that Most Improved Player of the Year award. You guys, of course, can put down in the comment section what you think, who you think is going to be MVP, Rookie of the Year, and things like that. And like I said earlier, make sure you follow me on social media, and you could also tag me there or message me in one of my pictures or comment me and mention me and let me know who you think is going to win which award. And now for 6th Man of the Year. Now this one's going to be tough. Usually with 6th Man of the Year, it's like the same guys that's in it. I think in this year's top 3, last year's top 3, it was Eric Gordon, Lou Williams, Andre Iguodala, and Eric Gordon ended up winning it. So it's up in the air. I think it's going to be those same 3 finalists this coming year. Again, I don't see that really changing. I don't see anybody, being a dark horse 6th Man of the Year. And I think it's going to be Eric Gordon once again winning the 6th Man of the Year award. And that brings it down to Rookie of the Year. This one's going to be really, really interesting. And also Joel Embiid can technically be voted for Rookie of the Year because he didn't play even half the season last year. For this one, it's going to be interesting just because of how many rookies came out and are playing like really, really big positions and filling a large role on their team. You know what I'm saying? As far as just like being a reliable part of the offense and being part of the team franchise as a whole building block. So my top 3 for Rookie of the Year, I think De'Aaron Fox is going to be there in that top 3. I think Dennis Smith is going to be top 3. And I know I'm overlooking Markelle Fultz, but he's been struggling with like a shoulder injury, so I'm putting that into equation. But I think it's going to be De'Aaron Fox, Dennis Smith, and last but not least, I want to say Lonzo Ball just because of the hype, and everything. So the rookie one's tough, but I think Dennis Smith, because of the role he has to fill right now, playing with a veteran like Dirk, they could be a decent winning team. Harrison Barnes have good pieces. He's going to start right away, make mistakes, have big games, big 30-point, 40-point games, I think, in this year. And I think that's going to be the reason why he ends up getting the Rookie of the Year trophy. But I think Lonzo Ball and De'Aaron Fox and Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, all those guys are going to have terrific seasons. So that wraps up my 2017-2018 NBA award predictions. If you guys have similar predictions or you want to share your predictions, put that down in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys have to say, what reason you have for picking somebody. Don't just say it's this person and just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Explain why you think blank, blank, blank is going to be Rookie of the Year or MVP or Defensive Player of the Year. I want to hear what you guys have to say, so make sure you guys do that. Another thing is really just put down in the comment section if you want to see more NBA type of videos like this, just discussing maybe like before any game or something like that, predict my score for that game. It could be a short video if you guys want to be if you guys want to see that, if you guys want to be involved in it, put that down in the comment section. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, MoreMoney12. The link is also down below in the description. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. More content is on the way. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. I am signing out, y'all. Peace.
Look, I got $1 million schemes and $1 billion flows, $1 million schemes and $1 billion. I got $1 million schemes and $1 billion flows. I put my heart in this work, cause that's just all that I know. Look.